And I got the pleasure of speaking to Garrett Brown for the second time in less than 6 months. Garrett, what a pleasure it is to be with you. Tell me what's been going on.
Likewise, Rick, and hello everybody at MacVideo. I'm a big fan of MacVideo now, I must say. What's been going on is the Merlin is going gangbusters. I think the things that we did with the Merlin were all pretty much the right moves. And of course, the Merlin works with small light cameras, and it works with big heavy cameras. And it became clear to us quite a long time ago that if you're lugging around the largest cameras that the Merlin does, you're faced with two things. You're faced with people's desire to put a wide-angle lens on and add accessories and so on and so on. And there is an accessory shelf available for the bottom of the Merlin that will hold wireless mics and things like that and not increase the overall weight. However, we recommend with the standard gimbal that the Merlin's top weight limit is about 5 or 6 pound camera at the most. And it has to be admitted that if you're out, getting really enthused about your shot and running around for, minute after minute, your brain suddenly gets signals from your right or left arm and saying, "Help, help, help me, help, I'm hurting. I can't do this anymore." And your brain says, "But the shot is great, keep shooting, keep shooting. No, no, come on, come on." So it was clear to us that in the grand Steadicam tradition, an arm, a special arm for the Merlin size camera, and a vest, a very special vest, would be a great idea, right? So I set to, and my colleagues set to in late last fall, and this is the result, and we're actually quite thrilled with this. This is the Merlin arm and vest, and it weighs about half the weight of even the Flyer arm and vest, and it is a true Steadicam arm. As you will see, it's very capable. It is very isoelastic, which is a phrase that means just ounces of force from top to bottom, and it adjusts to the body of the user, since any arm that doesn't is a form of torture in some way or another, right? And going with this arm, I love doing interviews like this. It's great. I get to sit down. We never get to sit down at these shows. This is my favorite vest of all time. This is a 2-pound vest, and it's an all Velcro, all the time vest, no clips. It's the smallest, lowest profile vest we've ever made, and it operates entirely with Velcro. And the best thing about it is it fits the greatest size range of human beings of any Steadicam vest ever. I've had it on 50-pound 8-year-olds, and I've had it on 400-pound linebackers, and the way the straps overlap, because they're double-sided, allows you to perpetually expand or retract it. The front of the vest, this arm mounting can be mounted lower, and the vest can collapse to the point where the smallest people on Earth that may wish to use it and the largest, within practical limits, are going to be quite happy with this. And I'm very pleased to show you, this is our grand introduction here, and I will ask my colleague Tom to come in. Tom, this camera is a bit heavy in the normal course of things. Come out around here if you don't mind. And you heard my little soliloquy about the arm muscle. Now watch, the camera docks on the arm. You operate the Merlin almost exactly as usual. You're still able to fly it off the arm and make these high, high shots, or these low, low, high again, and low, high. Come on, come on. Or you're able to go back to the arm very quickly. And now our friend Tom is lifting an ounce, a half ounce, a gram, nothing, And it has a 28-inch lifting range. Very close to one of the largest Steadicam arm ranges out there. Only our bigger arms, which go 32 inches, are any better.
Okay, so it does a lot more than just take the torture away. It actually helps you to get your shot that you
Not
need,
only
right?
that, it allows you to dock the arm right close to you and operate handheld. It allows you to do that on either side. It allows you to fly it away almost instantly and you're back flying. And it allows you to not get involved with the labor of it and stay involved with the art. Your fine motor skills are preserved, and yet it doesn't rule out all the handheld possibilities for Merlin, the really ultra-high shots and low shots. And the best thing is that this kit, which has debuted in the U.S. for just under $2,000 US, includes the six-ball bearing metal gimbal, and that will hold a 7-pound camera, and it includes a couple of extra weights. So owners of this kit can handhold or arm fly cameras up to 7 pounds, and everything that you need to do that, including a more robust gimbal, comes with it. So not content to do this, we looked at ourselves and we said, you know what, there's a missing rig here. Thank you, Gumda. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Farewell. There's a missing rig here, and that is, this arm is so great and the vest is so great, so our colleagues in LA have come up with the Pilot, the Steadicam Pilot. Step back a second, Chrissy, thanks. Can you get all that in, Rick? The Pilot is the lightest, most capable little Steadicam rig ever made. It has a perfect gimbal, it has a wonderful little monitor. It comes fitted out for either standard batteries such as the IDX or Anton Bauer, or you can use the Pilot in another mode with its smaller monitor and AA batteries, which are a few $100s less expensive, right? In fact, they decided to call this the CoPilot. You know? So do your magic with that. Show us what that arm does. Just raise and lower. Look at her hands. There's no strain here at all. We've had Chrissy in this for hours at a time because it's so much easier even than handheld. And you can pull this rig back close to you and hand hold this camera and operate it as well. Or you can tack it to the arm to the chest and have both hands free to set up something in your shot and then fly away and continue to work.
All right, I got a question. Can you shoot all day with this thing? Do you ever need to use a tripod, or can you just strap yourself up and go for it?
It's stable enough that I think you could get away without a tripod. We're going to be doing accessories that, you know, such as the standard length controls. So, and the fact that it's rigid and stiff, like a good Steadicam, lets you shoot telephoto, you know. So you could argue that with this kit, if you're even shooting a complicated event, you could mostly be in this. You could pull the camera off and throw it on a tripod, and if you had to do that trick. But a great deal of this you could manage just with this rig, and you're so mobile that it's very exciting. It also is like any true big Steadicam. It expands and contracts enormously, and so very quickly you can flip the gimbal down and get enormous lens heights if you're shooting out over the head of a crowd. And this switch can be done in 30 seconds. We haven't figured out how to do it in mid-shot yet, but it's certainly easy enough. And when you have that, you know, that rig at its full length, you're able to shoot up at 7-foot lens heights, which are very handy for certain events. And if you flip low mode in that long mode and just flip the rig upside down, you can flip it in post and have instantaneous low mode. So that's an extremely valuable setup.
Yeah, that's something I found with the Merlin, that you are limited with how low to the ground you can go.
And the last thing that we did is we took the Merlin weights, which are beautiful stainless steel weights, and we arranged for you to be able to add any number of them fore and aft, or even in the center on the bottom of the rig. See that? And the effect of weight far apart provides a tremendous increase in the inertia of the rig. So this feels like a much bigger Steadicam. It's much more stable than any other little rig out there, because inertia goes up by the square law of distance. And so the simple act of separating these relatively small weights, this one weighs slightly over half a pound, slightly over half a pound, plus the relatively light weight of the monitor and the battery. And the act of doing that increases the inertia to the point where this feels massive. It feels exactly like what we're used to, you know, in the bigger rigs. So part of our interest here, as you brought out so clearly in our last interview, is to not make these things be toys, to make them be serious instruments for the art of Steadicam. Because we feel that just because you're using a lighter camera doesn't mean you're any less serious an artist or videographer, and why should your tool not be the absolutely best? So I must say, I and my colleagues, Rob Orff at the factory and Jerry Hallway, all of us who have contributed to this, are very proud of it.
Yep, and it shows. You're very happy with it. So tell me, the big thing over this one for the Merlin is that you can put a heavier camera on it.
Well, you can go up to 10 pounds with this one, that's true.
Okay.
And if you're not in the mode of handheld, if you want a traditional Steadicam, this is the most affordable way to go. This one is to tick under $3,000, all in.
$3,000?
Everything. Arm vest and sled. Spectacular value.
Yeah.
We think this will be huge in the prosumer, videographers, serious documentarian, anybody whose camera is less than 10 pounds, colleges, universities, film schools, etc.
Well, I'm looking at it and I want one. It looks incredible to me.
Oh, and by the way, of course, the arm is, like all of our arms, is hand adjustable for lift from 4 to 15 pounds. Sorry to be speaking in pounds, but could be worse, could be euros. So watch this. If I crank this lift up, you can see the effect right there. It just took a higher position. It's so responsive to adjustment. So by hand adjustment, you can go throughout its range.
Now, what's the setup like on that? Do you need to spend a lot of time, or is it pretty easy?
Oh, it's fast. Extremely fast, yeah. I mean, we have in mind somebody that's not got a 15-man crew, that's out perhaps on their own or one or two. I mean, this would be sensational for you.
Look, the thing I hate most is carrying my tripod around.
I'll tell you one thing you could do, Rick. Now, don't tell anybody else, and certainly don't tell anybody in the UK, but you can actually have two of these arms and two rigs, one on each side, one telephoto and one what?
I saw that picture with you. I saw that picture on your website.
Thank you very much. Great. You look great in the rig, by the way. You look really good. Now, get a B-roll of her walking around with it. Just do your demo thing, stroll around. I am a moving camera junkie. I love what happens when the camera moves. I love not only the primitive part, the 3D bit, the illusion of 3D, but I like the emotional part. If you make a move like this, that makes one statement. If you go like this, that's something else again altogether. The subtleties of what that accomplishes and the information that you give somebody when you move the camera is an elixir for me. I love it, and that has driven my movie making and my equipment making for a long time. Otherwise, also, I love the problem-solving aspect. We have a very serious issue here. How can this fit everybody? How can it be light? How can it be the most comfortable possible vest? In other words, not stick somebody at the low end with a piece of junk, but something that's really, really good. I mean, you could wear tux over this. We're even thinking of opening the back up in the production version, putting a little mesh in here so it breathes. It never ends, though. This year I retired from making movies. I did my last movie shot, and it isn't that I don't love to shoot. I love to shoot. I love to shoot Steadicam. Quite frankly, I'm tired of riding in vans. That comes down to that. Something as stupid as that. I'm tired of waiting in line for lunch. I'm tired of being told where to go. So I'm going to dedicate myself to teaching and continuing to work on the gear. And I have to say, life is good.
Fantastic. One more question, and you don't have to give anything away, but I've got to ask, what comes next?
Well, Frank Rush gets a peculiar purple color when I describe what we're about to do. All I can say is some fabulous stuff coming.